So, good morning, students. Today we will start chapter number 12, electricity. This is class 10th, 10th A and 10th B both. So, in previous classes, what we have studied so far, I told you about what is electric charge and current, what is charge, how the flow of charge constitute current, the formula of current, and the questions related to the current, number of electrons, the quantization nature of electrons, and the direction of electric current, what is ammeter, what is voltmeter. So all of these things we have studied in our previous classes. So today we will start Ohm's law. Ohm's law is the relation in between voltage and current. Wait a minute. Okay. So Ohm's law is the relation in between voltage and current. That how a potential difference across the terminal of a conductor affect the current is Ohm's law. Ohm's law given by a German physicist, that is George Simon Ohm, and what it discovered that as the potential changes, current will also changes with respect to the potential difference through a conductor. So this relation is known as Ohm's law. You can see from here that the definition of the Ohm's law. What Ohm's law says, according to this law, the electric current flowing through a conductor is directly proportional to the potential difference applied across its ends. That means if this is a conductor and you are saying that the potential difference across these two ends of the conductor is V, then the current that is flowing through this conductor is I, and this current I is proportional to the provided potential difference across the terminal, right? But see here, we can write it in two ways. V is proportional to I, V is proportional to I, and I is proportional to V. See, V is proportional to I means voltage is changing with respect to the current. As the current changes, voltage also changes, and from this relation, I is proportional to V. That means as the voltage changes, current will change. So what Ohm's law says? Ohm's law says that if we apply a potential V across the conductor terminal, then current will change, right? That means I is depending on V. That means I is depending on V. Okay? So this formula is correct actually. But basically in books, what is written? V is proportional to I. So it doesn't matter actually कि V is proportional to I or I is proportional to V. This relation only shows the linear relationship between voltage and current, right? So don't get confused with I is proportional to V or V is proportional to I. If you use V is proportional to I, then after removing this proportionality symbol, we will write V equals to IR, where R is what? Proportionality constant. Okay, and if you want to use this I is proportional to V relation, then what you have to write? I equals to V upon R. And here, 1 upon R is the proportionality constant. Okay, so don't get confused. Ohm's law gives the relation in between V and I and says that potential drop, potential difference and the current will be related in linear way. Okay, so V is proportional to I is proportional to V, both are correct, but actually the current depends on potentiometer. So right definition should be I is proportional to V, but it also works. Okay, this is not wrong, but this is not accurate. Okay, so Ohm's law definition should be I is proportional to V, that means I equals to V upon R. But if you write it as V equals to IR, then it is also correct. Okay. So this is all about Ohm's law. That Ohm's law gives the relation in between potential difference and current. If you apply potential drop across the terminal of the conductor, then current will flow. If V is increases, I also get increase. If the potential difference between 2 points A and B is higher, then the current flowing through this conductor will also be higher, right? But this Ohm's law has certain limitations. Like to apply Ohm's law, the certain physical condition should be constant. For example, temperature should be constant. Why temperature should be constant? Because Ohm's law says that current depends on voltage only. Current depends on voltage only. As the voltage or as the potential difference increases, current will get increased. But what if temperature is changing? If temperature is changing, then current will get increased, because due to temperature heat will increase, and if heat increase, the atom of the conductor material start vibrating, and by vibration of the atoms the electron moves from one point to another point, so current will flow. So when the temperature is not constant, current also depends on temperature. That's why Ohm's law says that if you want to apply me, then the temperature should be constant at particular scenario. If the temperature is constant, then only the Ohm's law is verified. Okay, so temperature should be constant if you want to apply Ohm's law. If question says that in a system the temperature keeps changing, so tell me if you can apply Ohm's law or not. So your answer should be no, we cannot apply the Ohm's law, because here temperature is not constant. And if someone asks why, then you should have to reply that, sir, as the temperature is changing, the current will also depends on temperature, but Ohm's law gives the relationship in between voltage, potential difference and current, right? So this is Ohm's law and its current law. So what we have discussed so far till now, that V is proportional to I. V is proportional to I, right? And if V is proportional to I, that means voltage and current is linearly depending on each other. Okay, and if voltage and current is linearly depending on each other, that means as the current increase, voltage will increase, or we can say as the voltage increase, current will get increased. That means the graph we will get is a straight line. If we have a graph of straight line, then the slope will be y-axis upon x-axis, right? That means V upon I. So that the slope is what gives us the resistance. Okay, see, this is coordinate axis, this is x-axis and this is y-axis. What we are doing, that on the x-axis we are considering the flowing current through a conductor, and across the y-axis we are considering the potential difference across the conductor terminal. This is potential drop V, this is current I, right? So as we see from the Ohm's law, V is proportional to I. That means as the current will increase, voltage will get increased, or I is proportional to V, means as the voltage will increase, current will also get increased. That means we will get a linear curve like this. And if this is a linear straight line graph, then the slope will be there. And what is slope formula? y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1, right? y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1 means y-axis upon x-axis, that is our slope. ठीक है, y upon x equals to slope, y-axis upon x-axis. And what is y here? V, potential drop. What is x here? I, current. So V upon I equals to slope. And what we know? V equals to IR. That means V upon I equals to R. That means this slope is nothing but this is the resistance R, that is proportionally constant. So the slope of this VI curve gives us the resistance value. Okay. Next. Now let's discuss about the proportionality constant. As we stated, V is proportional to I. That means V equals to IR. After removing the proportionality sign, what we have right? R. That is proportionality constant. So what is this proportionality constant R? As we know that this R is known as resistance. So what is resistance over here? So resistance is basically the property of a conductor that opposes or that resists. As the name says, resistance. That means something that is resist something, right? So resistance is for resisting, and what it resists? The flow of current. So resistance is used to resist the flow of current. Okay. So resistance is the property of a conductor that resists the flow of charge. And flow of charge is what? Current only. So in the second point, you can read flow of charge is nothing but current itself, and current flow in the opposite direction of flow of electron. As I told you earlier about this in class. The SI unit of resistance is ohm and represented by a Greek letter ohm, right? This is the Greek letter ohm, and this is the symbol we use to represent the resistance. As the distance is measured in kilometer or meter, the SI unit of distance is meter. Similarly, the SI unit of resistance is ohm. Okay, and as the meter is indicated as M or MTR, the resistance is indicated as ohm. This is the Greek letter symbol, right? Now, if you have to define the 1 ohm resistance definition, so how you can define it? You can say, see, what you know, V equals to IR, right? If V equals to 1, I equals to 1, then automatically what R will be? R will be 1 only. That means if we apply 1 volt potential difference across the terminal of the conductor, then current will flow, that is 1 ampere. So you can say, when we apply a 1 volt potential drop across the terminal of the conductor, that is providing 1 ampere current, then the resistance values throughout this conductor will be 1 ohm. So you can read from here, resistance of a conductor is said to be 1 ohm if a potential difference of 1 volt across the ends of the conductor makes a current of 1 ampere to flow through it, right? So 1 ohm equals to 1 volt divided by 1 ampere. Now moving forward, let's take an example. Okay, before solving any of the question, what I always keep telling you, that your presentation of the answer should be very, very appropriate, very, very attractive. So before solving any question, what you have write, that what data you have given and what you have to find out, what formula you have to use, and then properly in step-by-step procedure you have to solve that particular question. So you can see that the question is okay, let's read the question first. The potential difference between the terminal of an electric heater is 75 volt, right? What you have given, the potential difference between the terminal of the heater, yani ki if there is a heater, then it's 2 terminal and the potential drop in between these 2 terminals is 75 volt, right? And it draws current of 5 ampere. Okay, so you have given potential difference, current value 5 ampere, then it's asking what current will be the heater draw if the potential difference increases to 150 volt. So before solving this, let's calculate the resistance value from these two values given. That potential difference is 75 volt, current is equals to 5 ampere. Now what is the formula of Ohm's law? V equals to IR. So by using this V equals to IR relation, what we have calculated here? Resistance value. Now you have resistance. Now the new potential is 150 volt, and what you have to calculate? Current value. What you have to calculate? Current value. So now we apply same Ohm's law, V equals to IR, but here what you have to write, V is 150 volt, R is as calculated 15 ohm, so current will be 10 ampere. Okay, but this is a very easy question, but what makes the difference is your representation in your answer sheet. Okay, so you have to write an answer in such a manner always. If you want to get good marks, your answer should be different. And for an easy question, everybody solves this question because it is easy. So what makes it different? Your presentation. So always try to work very nicely, very neatly, and very clean. Okay. Now some important terms related to resistance. Okay. So what we have discussed, that resistance is the special property of the conductor. Okay. By using this special property, we design a component that is called resistor. So resistor is specifically used to provide resistance over some circuit. Okay, like if you have some electric circuit and you have to provide a very high resistance over there, so what you have to use? Resistor. So resistor is a component which is used in electric circuit, and that helps to provide a very high resistance value. Okay, so wherever you have to wherever you feel that high resistance is required, then you have to use resistor over there. Now second point is rheostat. Rheostat is as same as resistor, but only difference is resistor is fixed like 2 ohm or 5 ohm or 10 ohm, but variable resistor or rheostat is having some range of resistance, like from 0 ohm to 5 ohm. You can fix resistance as per your choice. Like if you want to have 4.5 ohm resistance, then you can fix the rheostat over there, right? So it is variable resistor which is used to control flow of current by manually increasing or decreasing the resistance. That means in rheostat you have to choose to increase or decrease the resistance value manually. On the rheostat there is a jockey. By moving that jockey you can adjust the resistance value, but in the simple resistor you have no choice. You have to pick up like 2 ohm resistance or 10 ohm resistance, and if you choose at once, then the resistance will always be 10 ohm, but in rheostat you can change it further as per your choice, right? Now good conductor, see there are two types of actually 3 types of material, like conductors, semiconductors, insulator. These are 12th standard classes, and as you grow up you will see that there are 4 types of material: conductor, insulator, semiconductor, superconductor. But in your 10th standard, what you have studied, there are 2 types of material: conductor and insulator. Conductor what? Which allow the flow of current, and insulator is what? Which do not allow the flow of current. Now in this case, conductor is further divided into 2 types: good conductors and poor conductors. Good conductors means the material which allow flow of current very smoothly, means that provides very low resistance to the flow of current. But poor conductor which allow the flow of current but it provides high resistance, मतलब इतना smoothly current flow नहीं हो पाता poor conductor में, right? So conductor is what? Which allow flow of current, but if easily current can flow, then it is good conductor. If current cannot flow easily, then it is poor conductor. And what is insulator then? Insulator is a material which do not allow, which never allow flow of current. ठीक है? So that means it is offering very high resistance so that current cannot be flow over the insulator. ठीक है? So example of the good conductors are silver, copper, aluminium, and silver is the best conductor to flow of current. And poor conductors examples are mercury, lead, and stainless steel. And the examples for insulator are you can say rubber or dry wood or plastic. You can say plastic is a very good insulator. Rubber is also very good insulator. Dry wood, सूखी लकड़ी is example of insulator. Why dry wood? Because जब पानी होता है, पानी is a conductor for the water, is the conductor for the electricity. right? It allows flow of current. So this is all about your Ohm's law and some topics regarding the proportionality constant, that is resistance. Okay, in the next classes we will discuss that on what factors resistance will depend. Okay, thank you.